have my materials gathered to make my next block for my ombre quilt. I just thought I would show you that this is the fabric pack that I'm using, the layer cake. I like these colours. I like blue anyway, so I have all my thread ready and I'm going to get started here. And a little bit later on in the video, I've done an extremely rough layout of how I'm doing the colours on this quilt for you to see and actually to get your opinion on. So watch out for that in a little while. I'm making another pattern for my ombre quilt. For this one, I'm going to use this template. And the fabric I'm using is the same pack of 10-inch squares. This is kind of a fairly lightish medium blue, a denim-y kind of a colour. I have used this on one other square, this colour I think, where I appliqued this colour onto some dark to make some flowers. So this template's actually a little bit large for what I want. So I'm hoping it's going to look okay. The circle area is probably going to go right up to the edge when I've sewn these blocks together. And that will look different to some of the others, but I didn't necessarily want this all to be uniform, so I think that'll be okay. I'm going to use this pen. This is an iron off white, and so we'll see how it goes. I used this once before and it worked quite well. I can't remember what brand this is, which is unfortunate because these are the best ones I've found up to now. I believe I got it from Amazon, so I'm going to have to go and search and then see if I can find out what I bought and buy some more. When I do come across something that works well, I do try to take note because these white pens are a little bit difficult to find good ones. A lot of them seem to have problems. So I'm just quickly filling in these outlines, hoping this white shows, because a lot of the times when you're doing this, the white doesn't show at first and it makes it difficult to keep track of where you're drawing your pattern. So just have to trust that this is going on there, I think. I set off trying to draw it in order so that I could see where I'd been, but I've already lost track of that idea. Maybe I'm going over some places twice, but that's okay. And again, I'm just going to Sashiko this in white when I've got it all onto this. I think all of the Sashiko on here will be white. I'm not absolutely sure about that yet because some of the colours in the pack are really quite light. And if I end up using those, the white might not show up very well. So I may have to, switch to another colour. When you're using these templates, it's really quick to draw these patterns on here. And that's something that I really like about them. All right, so I'm going to try and carefully lift this up and see if I think I've got all the lines. I think I've got one missing there. And I don't think this will take very long to Sashiko either. It's going to be really pretty. Okay, let me try and check this other side. I wondered whether I should have taped this down before I started, but I thought I'd just give it a try and keep a good hand on it to kind of hold it in place and see if I could do it. And I think that it's worked out okay. So, I'm not sure if you can see the pattern on there very well. It shows up quite clearly for me to sew. That doesn't always mean it shows up clearly for you on camera. So I'm going to go and start Sashikoing on this. So I thought I'd just lay this roughly out on my design wall. I know it's a bit difficult to see. I'm just tilting my camera a little bit so you can get the basic idea of what I'm doing here. The centre square there, that's the one I'm actually working on at the moment. And so I said I'm making this like an ombre quilt, but it's actually fashioned after a piece of fabric that I saw and just thought was so pretty. And this is kind of the colour way of the fabric. So even though it's not strictly speaking ombre, although there are ombre elements, there are like odd places where it's just dark, even though it doesn't seem like that would be the normal pattern. So, you know, I don't know what this is going to look like when it's finished. I just know I liked the original piece. And then down at the bottom, this light blue, I think that might be a little bit too light. And so I'm considering taking that out. I'm not going to make that final decision until I get all the Sashiko on the rest of the squares, because I think that'll kind of lighten it all up a little bit. And so I'll know for sure when I get that on. And then again at the bottom, they have this just really dark row again along the bottom, which on their piece it works and it looks good. We'll have to see. I just hope this works out. Up to now, I'm kind of liking, you know, what I'm seeing. Make that smaller. You can actually see it. Sorry, I hope I'm not making you dizzy messing with my camera here. I was trying just to make it where you can just see it a little bit all in one. You know, the contours don't quite fit properly for making a YouTube video. So, I mean, what do you think? I'd like comments. I'm not great at colour, so I'd like to hear what you think. If you can imagine what this might look like when it's finished, that would be good to know. I've started my Sashiko on this piece. Just following these curved lines. I started on the outside of it. I think I could have started in the centre. I didn't really think it would make a difference which point I started at, so I decided to start on an outside line. And this is a really nice simple pattern to do. I really like these templates. It makes it much easier to get the pattern onto the fabric. I don't like to draw, so, and it goes on here really quickly. And they're not very expensive to buy. There are some of the Perspex ones are a little bit more expensive. I believe I bought this pattern from Shibori Dragon. They have a nice selection, and I buy quite a few from them. When I first started, you couldn't buy any kind of templates at all. It was a case of having to just draw or trace patterns from somewhere. It was very hard to find them. It's hard to find any kind of supplies at all, because I've been doing this for a few years, and at first Sashiko wasn't known or popular, and so it was very difficult to find anywhere that sold anything to do with Sashiko. I actually made some of my own templates at first. I bought a little hot iron thing that cut out the whatever this is made of, the plastic, or not just sure what these templates are made of, but it would cut out the lines for me to draw in, and they weren't great, but they worked well enough, so I'm relieved that I actually can just buy them now. It's going to take a while, but that's okay. Sometimes it's nice to have things that are not particularly made quickly, and slow sometimes is good. I enjoy it. So I think I'm going to go back to this one here now. So I could just carry it, but I think I'll thread under my stitches a little bit. It is quite accepted just to carry thread along the back. You just carry it to the point you want it, and then leave your thread just a little bit loose. But I just don't like to have all that loose thread hanging if I can help it. So if there's a line of stitching where I can thread it through the back and it doesn't make any difference to what the front looks like, and I still do leave it quite loose. And I just prefer that method. When I finish, these lines are going to iron off. If they do come back, they're going to all almost be covered by stitching, so they won't be noticeable anyway. I think I've said before, I've actually never had a problem with lines coming back, but I do know that it's known that this can happen. I try to think ahead about that and hope to have a strategy where they won't show very much if they do come back. And now on this one, I am going to have to just loop my thread because there's no stitch in here to carry this across. Let me just make sure I get that in the right place, make sure I get this in the right spot. Which is there. And make sure that's loose. So I'm going to carry on doing this, and I'll show you every so often how it's getting on. I've almost done the Sashiko on this. I've done the original pattern that was on there, and I decided just to do a double row around the centre of the flower to make the flower stand out a little bit more. So I'm just doing an echo stitching row around here, and I do like the echo stitching, so I've done the basic flower and now I'm doing just these central little petals, and I don't think I'm going to do the echo stitching on the curved part on the outside. This has really been quite fun to do, and it was really a very quick Sashiko patch. The template and the iron, I think, just makes life a lot easier. So I'm just going to move on to this one next, and I'll finish those off, and I will just show you the finished project at the end. And it is just going to fit within the 1/4 of an inch. It almost fills the square, this one. I haven't pressed this yet, but I just wanted to show you that really, and I'm holding this up close, really, even though I haven't put the heat on it, you can't see the stitching line that I put on with the heat erasable pen. So it's not going to be a worry about it coming back. So I am just going to press it. I'm not sure that you can even tell a difference. So I hope you've liked this video. If you know other people that are interested in sewing and you think would like to do Sashiko, please share. Let's get more people doing this. It'll help us get supplies. Thanks for watching.